Let me bring you up to speed. Let me show you what many people who are in the government at the highest levels are now risking, and some of them have been threatened, with 20 years in prison, so I can tell you and try to get the rest of the media to pay attention. 20 years in prison, people tonight are facing. Your fellow citizens. You always look for somebody that's willing to do it. Well, I've got a ton of them that I can't tell you their names, but I got a ton of them. They're looking at 20 years in prison to get this information to you. Please, please pass this information on. Everybody is looking at these two suspects. These two suspects are the bombers, but they're not the only ones involved. These two suspects are the bombers of Boston. Everybody is asking, why did they do it? Why did they do it? And they're looking into Chechnya. Are you kidding me? First of all, what do you say we start closer to home than Chechnya? Let's start with, what mosque did they go to? The radical mosque in Boston that the brothers attended. It's called the Islamic Society of Boston. Uh-oh, did I just use the word Islamic? I know the AP, the Associated Press, has just banned that word if it's tied anything close to terror. So if you're a part of the Associated Press, push these closed real quick for a minute. The ISB, closely tied to the Muslim Brotherhood. The radical, pro-violence spiritual leader of the Muslim Brotherhood? Oh, you know him. Well, he served on the board of trustees for the mosque. Not this guy. No, go back to the wheelchair guy, please. This guy. Do you remember him? This is the guy who said, hey, if I could just have the strength, Allah, even in a wheelchair, to kill a Jew. Yeah, this guy. This is one of the guys on the board of trustees. And the other guy, show his picture now. This guy is one of ISB's founders in Boston. Don't worry about him. He's a nice gentleman. He's a convicted terrorist who was arrested in 2004 for his role in the plot to assassinate the Saudi crown prince. But don't worry about it. That's the mosque. Now, 3 months ago, Tamerlan, and you'll get this from the mainstream media. This is not exclusive. Mainstream media has this one down. They've told you already. Just a few months ago, Tamerlan was thrown out of his mosque for allegedly having an outburst over Martin Luther King, shouting, "You cannot mention this guy because he is not a Muslim." And they threw him out of the mosque. It's a nice mosque that everyone must love. Bill, here's what they won't tell you. He was back at services before the end of the week. You see, it's pretty hard to have those guys on your board of trustees or your founders and then be moderate. Now, they were being radicalized, but the media will say, and they are also probably most likely lone wolves. Let's ask who else was involved. What do you say? Give it a whirl. The Blaze believes more attention should be paid to the Saudi Arabian suspect. Yes, suspect number 3. It's the guy with the happy face. Well, he's just like you and your kids. He's just like everybody. Okay, well, there he is in the glasses. Okay, but so what? It doesn't mean anything, right? He's from Saudi Arabia. Number 3 was initially detained as a person of interest. Now remember that. He was a person of interest in the attack. But they said he was a person of interest and he was in custody. Yeah. But now, we don't even know where he is. That actually came to me from the Department of Homeland Security today. We asked him, where is he? He said, he might still be in a hospital. We have no idea. He's all been dismissed by the media. Huge mistake. He's on a student visa, but his visa only permits him to be attending school in Findlay, Ohio. Now, he was scheduled to enroll in the University of Findlay, but he never enrolled. That is required by his visa, but nobody at ICE notice that they were probably looking for white racists. I don't know. They were probably not securing the border to worry about this guy. Now, Janet Napolitano and the Department of Homeland Security have flat out refused to answer our questions, although she did admit that there was some Saudi national in custody. She just thinks it's a different person who in no way is affiliated with the attack, and definitely not that guy. According to a law enforcement official with direct knowledge of the case, who participated in the identification process, said the Saudi national that was in the hospital in Boston, the person for whom the event file was created that we'll tell you about, listing them as a terrorist, one and the same. You see, they have this facial recognition thing. He said, oh, maybe there's a 5% chance, but no, because he was there. Now, on that off chance that it was somebody else, who? Who is it? The burden of proof is on the federal government, and so far they have not presented one shred of evidence that refutes what the Blaze has reported. Not one. All we have is Janet Napolitano denying it. And that apparently is enough for the global resources of the media at one of the biggest events in our nation's history. Oh, it's fine. Oh, the government said no? Okay, then it's no. Would the media have accepted a factless denial from John Ashcroft?